What's going on, Canes fans? Welcome to Walking and Venting, episode number 11. The series where I walk along the edge of my property and we talk about the Miami Hurricanes. Typically a controversial subject or a hot topic, and I'm sure you can guess exactly where this one is going. Now, I'm actually not in that bad of a mood. You'll understand here in a moment that's more so a jab at the people that are going at me on social media, on Twitter specifically, over a video that I put out in response to someone else with the video they put out about Miami. And there's a little bit of drama going on with that, and we are definitely going to talk about it. But I do not believe that the sky is falling. I don't think that the season is over. I don't think that the world is ending. Believe it or not, the Miami Hurricanes are actually still in the driver's seat with this ACC thing. We'll talk more about that here in a few minutes as well. But yes, of course, I'm upset. I'm not down and out and depressed. I am upset a little bit, yeah, because it's more so not about the loss. It's about the way Miami lost the game against Georgia Tech. That's just absolutely disgusting, unbelievable. The more and more I think about it, it just, wow. And we knew, right? We knew as Canes fans this team had been playing with fire. So many opposing teams' fans are like, ha, look at y'all, we tried to tell you. 90+% of Canes fans knew that the defense was a liability. It was a big-time problem, and it was probably only a matter of time before something like this happened. But we were trying to just enjoy the ride in the meantime. We knew that they had been scraping by. We knew it was the offense pulling it out for us. It was the Cam Ward show, right? Now, to be fair, the offense did not have the best day against Georgia Tech, right? You can't go 3 of 10 on third downs. You can't go 1 of 4 on fourth downs. They struggled a bit. Probably their worst game overall. Couldn't run the ball very well. It just was not a good day. Didn't score a ton of points. So they didn't really help either. Honestly, both sides are to blame yesterday. But the offense had been bailing out the defense week in and week out. So it's kind of hard to harp on them too much, right? Cam Ward had a bad day, and he did, but he still threw for 348 and 3 touchdowns. So, you know. But we knew that something like this was going to come up eventually, but it doesn't change the fact that it still pisses me off. And I'm being accused on social media of not being able to see the silver lining in all of this. And it's because J.D. Pickle with On3 put out a video on Twitter, and I'm pretty much quoting this almost word for word. And he comes on there and he says, this is great news for the Miami Hurricanes. They needed this loss. And he says, Miami just punched their ticket guaranteed to the ACC championship game and the college football playoffs. And it's because this loss right here will get the team locked in for all 4 quarters for the rest of the season. Now there will be a sense of urgency that wasn't there before because there's no room for error at this point since now they have a loss. And I put up a video response and I said, help me to understand exactly what you mean here, because I don't think it's a sense of urgency issue on either side of the ball. I know most people are probably looking at the defense, right? I don't think it's an issue of not being locked in. I think it's more so the team is doing everything they can with what they've got, both on the coaching side and the player side, and it's just not enough. The defense continues to be out of position. You saw specifically in the Georgia Tech game, they couldn't really set the edge. The safeties continue to look just completely lost out there, still struggling to tackle. These are things that it's not that they're not locked in, right? Am I crazy? Because so many people attack me. There's been almost 30 or 40,000 people watch that video, that tweet that I put out, and Canes fans are coming for my neck. They're like, Coop, come on, man. Why are you being so negative? Man, the players are going to see this, and, you got to back the team. I am. But can we not have a grown-up conversation and say, hey, look, there are some problems here. Let's hope that they get addressed. And here's the thing, though. I don't think that they will, and I don't think that they can be addressed to a certain point. I think the issues that Miami is having are things that are going to have to be fixed in the offseason. Like, think about this. We're coming up on game number 11. So you're telling me that it wasn't a wake-up call for this team when the Virginia Tech game was way too close for comfort, when they possibly could have won. It came down to a final Hail Mary throw into the end zone, and it was way, way too close for comfort. You're telling me it wasn't a wake-up call when Miami had to come back against Cal, a 25-point deficit on the road? It didn't wake this team up whenever they had to come back against Duke. That was a game up until the fourth quarter. So I just don't understand how then, if you're telling me it took a loss then to wake this team up, then they weren't elite in the first place. They weren't ready for the big time in the first place. And maybe for some teams, there are unique circumstances. There's always exceptions. I get it. Heck, maybe there's a team out there that does need a loss. But it's about the details here for me. And I just don't think that because now the team says, well, we definitely can't lose another game or we're out of this thing. I don't think that necessarily changes anything. You see what I'm saying? And it's not me being doom and gloom because 9-1. 9-1. I, for the longest time, was stuck on 9-3. And then I changed my prediction to 10-2 right before the season kicked off. So they're probably going to exceed my personal realistic expectations. So I'm not mad. And as I said, the team, believe it or not, is actually still in the driver's seat because guess what? Virginia did us a favor and beat Pitt yesterday. And now Miami owns the tiebreaker over Clemson because they beat Louisville and Clemson lost to Louisville. So it could still very much be a Miami versus SMU showdown in the ACC championship game. And, as we've said week in and week out here on this channel, if maybe the defense can do just enough, you would like to hope that the offense doesn't have another off day, kind of like how they did against Georgia Tech, right? But that was so frustrating to watch. With the defense, man, let me ask you this. Let me ask you, because I think that it's part Guidry. I think it's a scheme thing. I think he's got guys in bad positions. But I also think it's a player thing. Because we were saying some of this same stuff when it comes to Shannon Dawson on the offensive side of the ball last year. TVD is gone, and then Cam Ward comes in, and Dawson looks like an offensive mastermind. Right? Okay. Now on the defensive side of the ball, there are several guys that left. We come in. Now this season with Guidry, it's like, what is this guy doing? Tell me who, okay? Let's look at both sides of this here, because some of it's on Guidry, 100%. Give me who the Cam Wards are on the defensive side of the ball. Because Cam Ward came in and just transformed this offense. So who does Miami look at on the defensive side of the ball and you say, those are the Cam Wards right there. Those are the difference makers. Those are the guys that can flip a game and change the outcome. Because before we would have said Kiko, a lot of people are now saying, I don't know so much about that, right? Definitely nobody in that safety room. D-line, of course, early on we were like Tyler Barron. It ain't even that big a deal that Ruben Bain ain't in because this dude is putting in work. And now we're kind of seeing that fall off a little bit. But part of it is also because teams have figured out Miami does have a pretty nasty D-line still. The pressure's there, just not the sacks. So what are they doing? They get the ball out quickly. Recipe for success right there against Miami's D-line. And then guess what? Once they get to that second level of the defense and you're going up against the linebackers and safeties and stuff, game over. Here comes the yak. And I say yak, yards after the catch. I mean, if you're Georgia Tech, you just you run the ball every play. And you just rush for like 270 yards on this Miami defense. You run the same, 4, 5, 6 plays over and over again. And it don't matter because they're still not going to stop it. So tell me, this is my question to you. And I want you to really actually be honest with me and think about it. If I'm in the wrong, if this is a piss poor opinion, then I'll man up and own it. Does losing to Georgia Tech now just change this team. And all of a sudden on defense, they flip a switch, because that's what JD said. He said they're going to flip a switch on defense, and they look like a totally different monster out there. I don't think that they are capable of doing that, because I think they're limited in multiple areas. And most of us as Canes fans have accepted that, and we know that's the reality of the situation this season, and we're just hoping that we can continue to get by, do just enough, but the offense play lights out and keep scoring almost 50 points a game to win us the football game. Am I crazy? I don't think it's as simple as that, and it's okay to be positive about it, and it's okay to want to think that way. I'm not trying to play the fan police on either side. If you want to focus on the negative, focus on the negative. If you want to focus on the positive, do that. Can you do both and sit in the middle? Yes, you can. Just like these people tell me, Coop, you were so mad. You broke your keyboard and did all this after the Georgia Tech loss. And then you turn around and, next week you're going to be, it's a bye week now. When Miami plays Wake Forest, you're going to be like, go Canes. Yeah, of course. I'm a fan. I'm reacting in the heat of the moment. Gosh dang, man. I feel like sometimes people just don't understand that. Like, last night I was fuming. I was real upset. And then a couple hours later, let it simmer a little bit, and I said, hey, 9-1, let's look at the bigger picture here. Still mad, but it's not the end of the world. You got to understand instant react content, heat of the moment. This stuff happens, and then you just have time to, kind of calm down, collect your thoughts, and maybe watch the game again. I ain't doing it this week, though. And then, you kind of come out a little more with a level head, right? But look, Miami can still go to the ACC championship game. I don't know what the future holds with that. I don't know if beyond that, if Miami plays a more complete team, considering they lost to a depleted Georgia Tech team. That's not a good look, but also you can lose a bad football game to a not-so-great team and then also beat a really good team. It happens. You've seen it all across the country. I could sit here and give you a long list of examples. We've seen it this year in 2024. But it's no doubt frustrating to lose to a Georgia Tech team that was playing with a quarterback with one arm almost, not even his throwing arm. They rotate in a freshman with Philo. That 3rd and 18 will live rent-free in my mind all the way up until the next time we get an opportunity to play Georgia Tech. And they were down their top running back. He didn't play 90% of the game. Then their other running back goes down, and Miami still can't stop them. You're telling me there was no sense of urgency that kicked in when you realized you're in the fourth quarter and you're down to Georgia Tech, a team that had won 5 total football games? It's a conference game? Nah, man. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. And maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I hope I am. The team will absolutely come out fired up to go up against Wake Forest. And I think they beat Wake Forest. And heck, I think they beat Syracuse. So that's why I don't get why so many people, I'm telling you, if you go on Twitter, you'll see it. I don't understand why so many people are attacking me for that take. I just want to have a conversation about it and say what could be done. We did a Walking and Venting a week or two ago, and I said, Miami Hurricanes defense, could it be better? And I said, we're not coaches. I have no impact on the decisions that are made with any of this. But let's just talk about it for fun as fans, because that's all we can do, and let's see what people think. And you guys had some really cool ideas. I loved reading those comments. Loved it. But I just don't I don't see a switch. I'm trying to look at my notes. I tried to make some stuff to keep myself on topic. I'm doing a terrible job. I just don't see how you can look at the Georgia Tech loss and see it as a good thing. I don't. But I do not see it as the end of the world. I don't think that the team is now going to spiral down because, look, historically speaking, when you look at Miami, regardless of who the coach is, a lot of times they lose a football game and then that downward trend begins, But Miami has been playing games like this. It's why everybody keeps throwing around that term playing with fire. It's been too close for comfort. It's been letting teams stay in it. And I think that trend continues. I don't know. Wake Forest is pretty bad, right? So I don't know if it continues against them, but Syracuse likes to throw the ball around. Could be a problem. SMU would absolutely be a tough game. And then CFP, that's where the real tests are, right? It's where the big boys are. And I think that's what it will continue to be. And I've accepted that. And when I say I'm okay with it, I mean I'm okay with it as in there's nothing we can do about it because we're coming up on the 11th game of the season. Miami would need to maybe, look into the transfer portal. There are some younger guys that are continuing to develop, but they're going to need some time. I was one of the people that had said, hey, 7, get him out of there. We got to see a little bit of Zaquan Patterson against Georgia Tech, and it looked rough. But that's also expected to an extent because he's a young guy. And I think that you have to maybe look into the portal a little bit in the offseason. Guidry's got to look in the mirror a bit. But those things can't happen really right now. Guidry's really not going to come out and just change his whole defensive philosophy and the way he approaches the games with his schemes and stuff. Like it is what it is in 2024. Minor adjustments, I get it. You game plan for each team. But it just is what it is. I keep going back to that. I'm a broken record. It is what it is right now for the rest of 2024. I'm still pumped. I'm still excited. 9 wins, coming up on double digits here soon. But tell me if you think I'm crazy. And be honest. I can take it. I don't block any comments. I don't kick anyone here off of the channel. You can come on here and be like, Coop, you're dead wrong. Miami losing that game is going to light a fire under their booty unlike anything you've ever seen before. Mario Cristobal is going to be pissed off, and this is gonna become a top 5 offense or top 5 defense in the country over the next few weeks. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, but don't then do the whole fan police thing and tell me that I'm not a real fan because I want to just have a conversation about some of the shortcomings with this team and just openly talk about it. We don't shy away from that stuff. I choose to not focus on it, but that's a personal choice because I'm a pretty positive guy. Like I try to be. I've had a lot of bad stuff happen to me in my life over the years. So I want to enjoy the team and I try to focus on the good things. And then we typically close out videos with saying, hey, this needs to be better. They need to improve in these areas. We don't shy away from that. We do talk about it. But that one I saw that and I was like, has this guy been watching Miami Hurricanes games? Is this impression farming? I don't know. And I have nothing against JD. And if he wants to, look at that side of it, I hope he is right. And there's nothing wrong with looking at it that way. At all. Good, healthy conversations. Let me know your thoughts. I hope this made sense. When I go to play this back, it probably makes no sense at all. That got me pretty fired up. That got me heated when... And if you guys aren't on Twitter, don't go over there. Look, don't be like, let me go see what Coop's talking about over here on X on Twitter, because I'm not in the loop. Don't go over there. It is... The difference in YouTube and Twitter... It's wild. It's literally 2 totally different places. Twitter, you get attacked a lot more. People are way more vocal. YouTube, this is the community that I've built specifically here with the college football family. So most people get along. Even the trolls that come in are really cool people. Georgia Tech fans, you can get in here and laugh. It's fine. It's what we do, But Twitter, anybody can see your stuff and quote tweet it and repost it. And a bunch of people start jumping in there. There were multiple Canes fans that said, Coop, we hate your guts, bro. Like, we can't believe that you would jump off the wagon now. Like, and if you don't, we're going to kick you off of it because now you're trying to be all negative. When I literally asked a question. And I started it off by saying, I'm really positive about this season and enjoying the ride. This has been great, even though it's not been perfect. But can we talk about this for just a minute? I guess not. We'll see how people do here in the comments on YouTube. Do you think that the sky is falling? Do you think that taking the loss was the best thing for the team? Because I think that they were already locked in as best as they could be. I think the urgency was there, and I think they were just doing the best that they could, and they came up short. Their best wasn't good enough. And let's hope that for whatever remains for the rest of the season, that it will be, that they'll find a way. But I think you'll continue to see what you've been seeing, and they just got to try to come out on top in the end. Just slightly overcome it somehow. And hey, I do want to add also, I forgot to say, hey, look, maybe Damari Brown will be back. Maybe Austin can be back. Maybe some of these other guys. But that's still not just, that has nothing to do with the loss, right? That has nothing to do with that. That's guys coming back from injury. That could absolutely help. But it's got nothing to do with the Georgia Tech game at all, as far as losing it and it changing the way this team plays because of that. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.